We got ourselves team 1 with, we got ourselves Core Lash as a Unholy DK with. In the back, we got Pharrell Williams playing the Boomy. We got ourselves Orc Rimar, as a marksman with Mun in the back as an arms warrior, and Rogue Thar as a sub rogue going up versus Kaiser, who is now a human female, from a human male to a human female, has a gateway user, is playing that Affliction Warlock by the looks of it, missed a mortal coil onto Rogue Thar, and is playing with no pet. Cheap shots coming out for Rogue Thar, going to be a port for Kaiser. Does he go for the gateway? Trying to maintain the dots onto Rogue Thar for now. It's going to be still that Night Fate Covenant. Trying to get extra dots onto Rogue Thar. Going to be a blind with a cloak of shadows for the Rogue. Trying to go for a bit of a reset. It looks like that is going to be a sap. Playing that Relentless. Cheap shot, but it's coming out with a cheap shot really early on. Kaiser blinks next to the gateway. It is going to take the port. Got the dots on the Rogue, and as long as the dots stay on the Rogue, it's going to be harder for him to catch a reset. Looks like the Rogue caught a reset for a second. Trying to get some damage up and running. Actually, maybe that was evasion. It was evasion. Interrupted Kaiser on the second on nature, but that's going to be a stun and easy. Afflictions coming out onto Rogue Thar with a big drain life, and the zaps coming out from the pet. Cheap shot coming out for Rogue Thar, trying to see if he might be able to turn around, but the zaps and the dots, and they got him. Cheap shot. Oh, Trinkets at the end, and Kaiser just whittled him down. Just took him down to the bare loins and then stripped everything away dot by dot. Next up is going to be Orkamar with a pet, actually playing the marksman with a pet. Double tap available. Does he go for a setup? And that's going to be also a Kyrian boy. Little Kyrian Stewart. Yeah, I think a double tap is going to be gone by the time you get a cooldowns on him. Resonant Arrow going to be immediate port for Kaiser. I think he still gets the shots from it. Is trying to go for the double tap, but I think the damage, a lot of it was kind of out of the window. Big drain life available for Kaiser. Did live the burst opener for Orkamar. Did not get the binding shot in order to get the biggest setup onto Kaiser. And Kaiser running away, dropping some dots onto the Orc. And I tried to go for a bit of that nature damage on top of it with the Soul Rot, which is such a good thing to get interrupted on, because this nature doesn't stop the rest of your cast. Going to be a Mortal Coil onto Orc, as Kaiser does just maintain the dots and just kind of try to stay away. I think he's looking to maybe get dots back up onto Orkamar. Does he play the dots where he, does it play the dot where the corruption gives you a slow? I don't think he is, because it looks like Orkamar is running still at full max speed. But the slow with that one could be really, really good for Affliction. I don't know what kind of legendary Kaiser is playing with. I think last time we saw him against an Enhancement Shaman, he was playing the double gateway, so you can take gateway twice. Going to be a big double tap available. Kaiser is going to take it before the Resonant Arrow connects. There's going to be so much damage out of Orkamar, kind of out of the window. Trying to go for a big set of binding shot on Kaiser. Does he go for maybe a fewer or something? Going to be a Mortal Coil as the double tap trying to come out. That's going to be double tap aim shot. Does hit Kaiser. Stun to follow with the UA right after. Orkamar has a lot of dots on him. Kaiser, I think, just needs to whittle him. Actually doesn't need to touch him anymore. The dots have set in, and that's going to be it for Orkamar with Core Lash as an Unholy DK coming out. Big stun onto Kaiser with that grip, and Kaiser does port out of there, trying to stay mobile as an Affliction Warlock as best possible. That is quite a bit of pets attacking from the other side. So he's at least going to put dots on those pets and try to see if he can run in for Core Lash, using that mobility of the knife to stay afloat. I think he just needs to kind of wait out Core Lash's pets for a bit. Does have quite a bit of dots on the Core Lash. He is taking a bit of that damage. And Kaiser looking like he's going to be recovering quite well. I do wonder what kind of a pet he decides to sacrifice. I'm pretty sure is the Blueberry, right? Is that Affliction Warlock doing PvP? It is. I think you guys haven't seen good Affliction Warlocks. Kaiser is mostly Destro, but seeing him pick up Affliction and already get into kills with it in a row is pretty damn good. It's going to be Core Lash popping out the big old baby arm from the Maldraxxus Covenant, the spare arm. And Kaiser does go for Mortal Coil onto Core Lash's arm. As long as the DK is CC, the arm will not keep gripping. So Mortal Coil to break away from second and then port right after was pretty good. Kaiser does have Core Lash with not a lot of cooldowns really left. Offensively, he is going to get the armor that it rolling. Kaiser does go for a wall. Core Lash dropping down the anti-magic zone, anti-magic bubble more like it. Going to be lots of damage onto the DK though. Not a lot he can really do. Mortal Coiled out. Actually, Necrotic out in his own health with a Death Pact. And Moon coming in with a reflecting meteor. The Kaiser is going to go for a port away with a breakaway, trying to get some dots on the Moon. He's just taking damage from afar. Hasn't been able to touch Kaiser so far, but the dots are really doing work with a rallying cry for Moon, trying to see if he might be able to live this. Being an arms warrior, not a lot of self-healing capability. We'll need to go for a nice lockdown into Kaiser with a big setup. Maybe try to see if he can all in him. I think that might be the best play here. I don't even know what an arms warrior would really do in this situation. Reflect was used, and I guess he's gonna wait until the next Reflect. And I wonder if Arms is actually a better spec to duel with compared to Fury. Just go in, tank up, see if you can get a couple kills. If you can land that execute, you'll get at least a victory rush on the next guy. And also a question, which Covenant does Moon play? That's going to be a nice breakaway with Kreiser going in for a port as soon as the charge comes out. And Moon, I think, only has one charge. So he can only charge once, and now he's got out of mobility for a little bit, unless he goes for Heroic Leap. It looks like he is playing the slow with the... unless he's going for a Curse of Exhaustion. Looks like he might be playing... Actually, I think it is Curse of Exhaustion. It looked like Moon was walking slowly, and I was thinking maybe it's because of Corruption, but I don't really know. It's going to be Kreiser actually quite under a bit of pressure. Moon does have himself the Ignore Pain, which should be able to deal with some of that dot damage. Kind of letting his health go down, but at a much slower rate. But it looks like Moon is still completely dotted up, still just melting behind the pillar. I think he needs to somehow find a way to stay on top of Kreiser. Probably would have been better if he found a way to generate rage early enough, maintain Ignore Pain from the very beginning of the duel, because now he's super behind. Without any self-heals for the warrior, it is very difficult to come back. It looks like maybe that was Kreiser refreshing those dots again. His health is regenerating little by little, though. Very little by little. It's going to be Reflect, which does reduce the dot damage by 20%. And hey, big health regen coming out for Moon. Is he playing Kyrian? It might be... Was that Kyrian? Or maybe he's playing Second Wind for Gore. How you doing, my man? I am, my man, I am. Oh, yeah. Let's go, dude. 2021. I cannot wait for 2020 to be over and 2021 to begin. Yo, can we get a hashtag for Gore in chat? Thanks so much, man. Happy holidays to you, too. Kreiser trying to see if he can mount up and just swing around to Moon. He probably has a Mortal Coil already. And Moon, looks like the dots actually have time down on him. He actually has an opportunity to maybe make a comeback. Rallying Cries back up. Looks like he was recovering a lot of health. Second Wind, I think, was the play for him. It looks like mounted up second play actually might let the Arms Warrior make a comeback in this duel. Kreiser without a pet does not really have a way to slow Moon down effectively, otherwise there'll be a succubus always attacking Moon at all times. But looks like he was able to wait out the dots and get himself Second Wind rolling. I'm still wondering what kind of Covenant he is playing, because I haven't seen him use what his Covenant is. I'm guessing maybe Condemn. Looks like it's going to be big Avatar. Condemns are coming now, trying to slice Kreiser to have. That's going to be Soul Rod. I think maybe was Soul Rod reflected back? No, it looks like Mon was hit by Soul Rod. That's a lot of dots with the Mortal Coil chickens out of it. And that's going to be Malefic Wrap just flying for Kreiser, hitting him with the Drain Left around the corner. Moon has to make a play right here. Just have to go for Hail Mary. And down he goes. That was not a lot a warrior could do against an Affliction Warlock like that. I don't really understand if there was any kind of setup where Arms Warrior would have had an advantage in a 1v1 against Affy. With how much mobility Affliction has. Maybe if there's no line of sight and Kreiser can't really go anywhere, but looks like, oh, looks like Pharrell Williams actually trying to play up to the port. Kreiser is going to be able to soul shift into a cat and run out of there, but that initial port by the Warlock was yoing back through this massive wall with the Ursals. Let me see if I can switch to the duels mix, boys. I meant to do that last 1v1 duel. But I might as well do it here. But it just was so much back and forth action. And Pharrell Williams is going to take a little bit of dots. However, he can actually deal with quite a good portion of Kreiser's dots. The Agony in particular. And any curses to follow him. You could always cleanse himself. Going to be some dots lined up for Kreiser. Does have the big UA rolling onto Pharrell Williams. Trying to get a Soul Rod on top of it. And the Druid is going to bail out of it. I think for the Druid, it's going to have to be all about getting a big play into Kreiser. Maybe hitting him with a stun, making sure he has no way out. Maybe root Silence Beam into a massive Convoke and blast the Warlock out of the game. That might be the way to play, because Kreiser has been able to at least align everybody, maintain dots as best as possible, and with the crazy mobility the Warlocks have now, is able to either catch up to people or chase after. Pharrell Williams trying to go maybe for the setup. Is this going to be the go? Big part available for Kreiser. Does get himself out of that silence. And it's going to be a Drain Life that doesn't last too long for him. Pharrell Williams trying to see if he can recover on health a little bit. Kreiser actually pushed in with a port aggressively against the Boomy. Yeah, but Kreiser so far just can't deal with... Kreiser's pretty mobile himself. He can deal with Death Knights, he can deal with Warriors. But when it comes to a class more mobile than him, like a Feral Druid, I would imagine a Monk would be a very, very similar position. Warlock onto Feral Williams, trying to get the UA up and running with big haste available. Soul Rod up and running, lots of dots. Feral Williams might actually have to make a play. Gonna be Convoke with the Reflect available, trying to go for the Hail Mary, and oh my goodness. Cryza just had to pour on top of him, Mortal Coil, stun lock him with big haze above, dominating as an Affliction Warlock for this duel. Damn. How's this a 1v1? He's just running? Dude, I think he probably has a strat. He probably had a play, but it looks like the play didn't work out. Cryza just ended up taking it home. I think we got to get Cryza in there again, man. His team didn't even get to play. Marcy, oh, Haynes up though. We might just maybe do Haynes and Marcy and then get Cryza immediately into whoever's up next, because he's got to play again.